Somebody's getting anxious. Hi, this is James from Spectre 5 Astrology with your daily report, 10 February 2019. And I'm here with my buddy, the male Billy Goat, with his ram horns, which is indicative of the moon's position in Aries today. Aries the ram, look at that. Spring has sprung. This is the last moon in Aries before the spring equinox on the third week of March this year. Look at him. He's ready. He's hungry. He's rambunctious. The grass is turning green. And I want to give you a little report about the astrology today. Today the sun is at 21 degrees Aquarius, the third decan of Aquarius, which is activity of the mind, ruled by Uranus. People are active. They want to get out there. Just as the sun is the outpouring of our natures, the moon is the receptive aspect of our natures. The moon today is in Aries, and that's why I'm here sharing some time with my buddy, the Billy Goat. Not a ram, because obviously he's not a sheep, but he does have horns, and I wouldn't want to be on that side of the fence, if you know what I mean. Another interesting thing about today is that Mercury is in the last degree of Aquarius. So, as many of you know, Mercury is always close to the sun. It's either the sun sign before, of, or after the position of the sun. And one thing I'd like to point out is that Mercury has gone way forward of the sun, with the sun at 21 degrees and Mercury at 29 degrees. We're going to move into a retrograde period next month in March. But for now, when Mercury moves far ahead of the sun, Mercury rules your everyday mind, the activities of the mind, your relations with people, your transfer of ideas, paperwork, short trips, journeys, mechanical aptitude, because Mercury is the ruler of two signs, the air sign Gemini and the earth sign Virgo. So Mercury in air is the transference of ideas, whereas Mercury in Virgo, the earth sign, is practical ideas, application of those ideas, activity of the hands, making those ideas into something tangible, physical, pragmatic. So the significance today of Mercury at 29 degrees Aquarius is the fact that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is the higher octave of Mercury. So whereas Mercury rules the everyday mind, Uranus rules the universal mind, the telepathic mind, the broad, vast ideas, the ideas we can't see. Well, that's redundant because you can't see an idea, but the higher ideals, the transference of ideas, electricity, waves of influence. And it's in the last degree of Aquarius. So the everyday mind, the universal mind, is active today. Tomorrow it moves into Pisces, which is a restive phase. Pisces is the last water sign. It's the last sign of the zodiac. It's endings, it's letting go, it's undoing. But there's more to be said about that in another video. Another thing I'd like to point out, with the moon in Aries, Aries is a fire sign and the moon is water, rules Cancer. But Cancer is the first sign of summer. It's a cardinal water sign, and today the moon is square that, being in cardinal fire. But indeed, from an internal subconscious perspective, spring has sprung in the minds of people. There's a lot of people out here at the farm, and the animals are active, the birds are chirping, the fox are running, the wolves are on their feet, and people are active. So in our minds, in our higher minds, in our everyday minds, activity is key. We want to be out, we want to be around, we're thinking, we're getting our minds stimulated by activity. And that is the aspect of Aries: activity, fire, movement. The green is turning, the grass is turning green. The earth is producing. The fires from within, held in check by winter, are being released slowly, the prelude to the spring equinox. That brings us into, when we're speaking of fires within the earth, we're talking about Venus. Of course, Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus is the second sign of the earth, and the earth is producing from within, from within the winter, which is ruled by the cardinal sign Capricorn. And in fact, Venus is in Capricorn now, so it's a building time, it's a building expression. It's not what you start. Venus in Capricorn is, what have you sown? What have you sown? Venus rules value. Of course, in the simplest terms, monetary value, or the things you value, or from a young person's perspective, a young person's phase of development, 2.5 to 5, is ruled by Taurus. And when we're young and Taurus aspect of ourselves, we think of value as comfort, our blanket, our warm meal, our, fluffy pillow, things like that. But Venus in Capricorn is higher value, intrinsic value, the value of depth, the value of winter moving into spring, deep aspects. And that brings us into Mars, because of course Venus is the feminine expression, meaning magnetic from a physical scientific perspective, and Mars is the masculine expression, meaning electrical from the physical scientific perspective. So you have magnetism and electricity. One cannot exist without the other. They're the sharing of the energies. They rotate the energies. Mars is in Aries, 27 degrees Aries. Mars rules Aries. Mars is the outgoing, aggressive, masculine planet. And it's ready to go into Taurus, which is the earthy sign, ruled by Venus. Now that wonderful animal there is very peaceful on that side of the fence, but I'm sure if I crossed over into his yard, he wouldn't be so peaceful. And that's basically the difference between Aries and Taurus. Taurus can be the bull, but it also can be the cow. It's a feminine sign, it's an earth sign, it's a receptive sign, it's magnetic. But you upset that flow and you're gonna get the horns. That's just the way it is. Then it becomes the bull. So let it go at that. But how those are expressed is by Jupiter, because Mars is a fire sign, and of course all fire signs are interconnected. The next fire sign is Leo, ruled by the sun, and of course the sun is in Aquarius, so it's higher mind, it's activity of the mind, it's stimulation. You can get so much more stimulation out here at the farm than you can sitting on your couch watching TV. Well, I guess that's a personal decision. But Jupiter is the next fire sign. It rules Sagittarius, which is really going beyond internal barriers. It's a higher mind, it's wisdom, it's the long distance journey, it's education. You can't get wisdom from a book. You get wisdom from going out there and testing the limits. You're going out there and you go to the length of the day. You know, you experience the fence. You experience the limitations. You create your own limitations, which is the next sign after Sagittarius, Capricorn. So Venus in Capricorn might give you an awareness of your limitations. Oh, you know, I would love to get that new couch, or I would love to get that upgraded vehicle, but I don't have the money, the means, the money. Venus is value. Remember, money, quality, both quantitative and qualitative. And not how much you have, but the value of what you have. So sometimes in Capricorn we have to look at what we do have. It's taking stock. In the winter we don't have access to easy food sources and things like that in nature. We have to take stock. We have to utilize our stock. We have to work within the realms of our stock, our values. So the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn is in Capricorn, 15 degrees Capricorn, right smack dab in the middle, as they say. You can't get any more Capricorn than that. And Saturn in Capricorn is saying, hey, what do we have? Let's show a little respect for what we have. Let's appreciate what we have. Let's make some long-term goals. Let's say, hey, you know what? I wish I had more, but maybe I didn't plan early enough. With Venus in Capricorn approaching Saturn, maybe now's the time to make plans. Maybe now's the time to think about your plans. Maybe now's the time to think, you know what, if I do curb my spending and try to do a little extra with what I have, and then maybe I can afford that car, or maybe I could get that ring, or maybe I could upgrade my wardrobe or increase my intrinsic value somehow, somewhere down the line. We make long distance plans with Saturn in Capricorn to increase our value in the future. And that's all possible. But bringing that back to the position of the Sun in Aquarius, now we have to look at, well, where's Uranus? You know, what is the focus of our minds? What are we looking at? And Uranus now is at 29 degrees Aries, which brings us right back here to the farm with my buddy Billy here with his broad horns. We want to ram our way into the future. We're going to get that piece of food. We're going to get that traverse of land. We want to move. Spring is about to come upon us. The moon in Aries now is saying, hey, this is the harbinger of spring. Yep, spring is right around the corner. Look, we have stock, but food is growing around us now. The new season has sprung with the moon in Aries. Even though the sun won't go into Aries for another, probably, another month. So, but we're getting the harbinger of spring. And Uranus in the last degree of Aries is saying, you know what, it's already happened. It's already happened. I can't start anything today. You know, today's not the day to start. Tomorrow or the next day the moon goes, tomorrow the moon will, probably late in the day, go into Taurus. Mercury will go into Pisces, and in just a few days Uranus will also go into Taurus. So right now we have the moon, Mars, and Uranus all at the end degrees of Aries. Well, the moon's at about 20 degrees now, so they're all conjunct there in the end of Aries. Our activities have already been initiated. We're following through on our activities. When signs go from Aries, which is cardinal fire, initiation, into Taurus, which is fixed earth. It's mid-season. It's saying, hey, whoa, what have we started? Let's carry that on. It's time to move on what we're doing already. So those ideas that you've already initiated, those activities, Mars, that you've already started, that, connectivity with your subconscious needs that the moon represents in Aries, they're all moving into Taurus. It's time for fruition. Taurus is the time of the spring after the flowers have bloomed, that the temperatures are warming, and it's mid-season. All fixed signs represent mid-seasons. Which brings us to Pisces. Pisces is at mid-season. Neptune, which rules Pisces, is in mid-season of Pisces. So Neptune was retrograde for a while. Now it's moving forward. It's time to move. Let those dreams become real. Let those dreams become real. Those dreams that you had in your mind's eye of Neptune and Pisces. Overcome your fears. It's time to have faith. Activate that faith. Pisces is a dual water sign. You have faith on one side and fear on the other. Overcome those fears. Everything has been initiated. Act on that faith. Which brings us to the last sign, the last planet that I'm going to talk about. Pluto is at 21 degrees Capricorn. Now, Pluto and Saturn are going to conjunct next year, but this is a prelude. This is a dance. There's something deep within us all that we've wanted to master, that we've wanted to bring about, that we wanted to change out of the ashes of our former self into someone new, renewed. Within all of us is the phoenix ready to be reborn into the selves that we were meant to be. And that challenge is in each of us. That challenge is in each of us to reach deep within our duffel bag, as my army sergeant used to say, and pull out my best stuff. And that's today. Reach in that duffel bag and pull out your best stuff. Move with it, roll with it, go with it. Cross that river. What's holding you back? The only thing holding you back is fear. Have faith. Move, roll. Don't forget to smile. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Feel free to comment as you see fit. This is James with Spectre 5 Astrology, and I will share vision later.